I found $47,000 hidden in my husband's truck, so I followed him to work. The toolbox shouldn't have been that heavy. I'd been cleaning out Jake's work truck, trying to be helpful while he showered after another long day. The metal box barely budged when I tried sliding it toward me. I opened it, expecting tools. Instead, I found stacks of hundreds wrapped in rubber bands. My hands wouldn't stop shaking as I counted. $47,000 in a toolbox. In a truck that supposedly belonged to a construction foreman making $62,000 a year. "What are you doing out there?" Jake called from the house. I shoved everything back. "Just grabbing your lunchbox." That night, I couldn't sleep. Jake had been coming home late for months. Always had an explanation. Overtime, supply runs, emergency repairs. I'd believed every word because I trusted him completely. Until now. Friday morning, I told him I had errands. Instead, I followed him. He drove to the Riverside construction site like always, parked, grabbed his hard hat. For 2 hours, I watched him work. Normal. Nothing suspicious. During his lunch break, I walked onto the site. "Hey, I'm Jake's wife. He left his phone at home. Which building's he working overtime on tonight?" The foreman looked confused. "Overtime? We haven't had overtime in 3 months. Budget cuts." My stomach dropped. I drove home and pulled up our bank statements. Jake's paychecks deposited like clockwork, but nothing extra. No overtime payments, no bonuses. So where was the cash coming from? Wednesday afternoon, I returned to the site at lunch. Jake walked to his truck, then got into a silver sedan I didn't recognize. They drove to a gas station parking lot. I stayed back, watching through binoculars. Jake handed the driver something small. The driver handed him an envelope. The exchange lasted 30 seconds. Then Jake returned to work like nothing happened. I checked our phone records that night while he snored beside me. Every Thursday at 9:47 p.m., he called the same number. Every single week for 6 months. Thursday night, I pretended to be asleep when he left at 9:30. "Supply emergency," he'd said. I waited 5 minutes, then followed his taillights across town. He didn't go to any supply store. Jake drove to the warehouse district, pulling behind an abandoned factory. 3 trucks were already there. I parked a block away and crept closer. My heart hammered so hard I thought they'd hear it. Through the broken windows, I watched Jake meet 4 other men. They unloaded packages from a van. Jake counted something, then handed over a duffel bag. When someone opened it, I saw more cash. Way more than $47,000. My husband wasn't working overtime. He was dealing drugs. I was already in my car when my hands finally stopped shaking enough to drive home. I beat him there by 10 minutes. When Jake walked in at 11:38 p.m., I was waiting at the kitchen table. The toolbox sat between us. "Want to tell me about your overtime?" I asked. His face went white. "Babe, I can explain. $47,000, Jake. In our truck. In our driveway. Where our kids play." He sat down heavily. "It's not what you think. You're dealing drugs. I followed you tonight. I saw everything." Jake's whole body sagged. "I was going to stop, I swear. Just a few more months to pay off the medical bills from when Tyler was born. Then I'd be done. Our son's medical bills were $8,000. You've got $47,000 in that box alone." He started crying. Real tears. "Please don't call the cops. Please. I'll stop right now. Tonight. We can return the money. We'll figure it out. Just don't." The doorbell rang. Jake's face showed pure confusion. Then horror, as he saw the red and blue lights through the window. I stood up and walked to the door. "You can tell your story to them. You called the cops before talking to me?" "I called them from the car an hour ago. Gave them the warehouse address, your plate number, everything." The look on his face almost made me feel guilty. Almost. "They arrested him on our porch while I held our sleeping son." Jake kept saying my name. I didn't look at him once. The DA seized every dollar. Jake's facing 8 to 15 years. I kept the house, got full custody, and filed for divorce the next morning. He'd been making an extra $6,000 a month dealing. Now that overtime money's paying for the lawyer who's trying to keep him out of prison. I told Tyler his dad's away for work. For once, I'm not lying.